Where are we going next? You'll never believe this. My screen just froze.
I'm pretty sure the only thing you had left that you wanted to cover was Euro prospects. Namely,
there we go.
Mr. Yurov.
Guess who's back? That Danila Yurov, back from injury, played today for Metalurg in their 5-2 win against Matvey Guskov's Ufa. Played second line center. Didn't put up any points, but I took a longer than I should have break from work, threw that game on, saw the third period. I think he went 8 for 9 at the faceoff dot, so sign him up. Full-time center, absolutely, no doubt that's going to be a thing, possibly a number 1 center. No, but he looked really good, obviously. I think he played around 15 and a half minutes. Again, it was with the faceoff dot. Made a couple defensive plays as well. He finished +1, a couple shots on net. But good to see him back on the ice for his first game. Would expect another big year from him and hopefully come right over. And then we go back over to Finland. Let me pull up my sheet again. And you'll never believe it, Rasmus Kumpulainen continues to go on a tear. Leads the Pelicans in points. He's got 3 goals and 3 assists now in his 5 games.
Dude, a Kumpulainen Pelicans jersey. I need it.
Oh, they're sick, too. The jerseys are sick.
Mm-hmm.
But he has already solidified himself. The last of at least all 3 games this week, he was playing first line center. So it's insane. But let's see. Yeah, first game this week, 2 assists with 15.5 minutes time on ice. Then he played 21 minutes, and then their last game on Saturday, he scored another goal. He's just like rifling shot attempts. Fun fact about the Finnish Liiga website is you legitimately cannot figure out exactly how many shots on goal versus shot attempts they fucking have. Like, there's 15 different versions of their stat sheets, and I was furious today trying to write down the correct numbers. And then I was like, fuck it, I'm going to Sport Contract, the thing we have for our scouting service. Those numbers are off. I was losing my mind for 25 minutes. I just want to know how many fucking shots on goal he had in each game. I have no idea. But anyways, 4 games so far this year, 6 points, 3-3. I think he's got like 8 block shots as well. But, I mean, he legitimately stepped into the Finnish league, the Finnish pro hockey, his first year playing for his hometown team, and is leading them in points. He looks like he fits in. I just love that he's playing pro hockey, even though, I think, obviously, like we said before, Asha was pretty upset that he didn't come back. But, I mean, not only does he fit in, he looks like one of their go-to guys, especially given the fact that he leads the team in points. Love that. Kiviharju, no points through 5 games so far this year, rotating between being like their 4 and 5. Again, much of the same that we talked about with him before. Plenty of really good plays. Sometimes, just being a 5'9" defenseman in Finnish Liiga, it's tough to do. So he gets out-muscled here and there. But again, plenty of like really just solid defensive plays in transition, killing them before they start. And on the breakout, looks really good. Every once in a while, he'll get some power play time, and he clearly can run a power play. Super mobile as far as like agility-wise, even if he doesn't have that foot speed. But he's been fun to watch. Poor Sebastian Soini is getting caved in. They played Champions League hockey, and they got the shit kicked out of them every fucking game. So he's only played in 1 game in Liga this year. I think it was on Friday. Yeah, it's Friday. 10.5 minutes, had 1 shot attempt. But again, with him, it's just the profile player I really like. There could be some potential upside. I would not be upset whatsoever if they let him go play U20 instead of like just getting caved in playing pro hockey in Finland. So I still think he played pro hockey too early last year, but we'll keep on tracking him and hopefully have some good updates. But that's the Euro prospect update anyways. And now we'll have WHL back, since we have a few guys that get sent back.
There you go. And, do you get this reference, Z, from Mateo? I love trying to find Kiviharju stats and needing to look for the name Stone Ridge because of auto translation. Have you run into this?
Is that I have not had to do that.
We'll believe you.
I love that. If that's like the actual trailer, I love that. That's the translation.
We've talked about this one before, but Urban comments, healthy and disciplined third line of Trennan, Hartman, Foligno. Thoughts? Pure mayhem, and I love it.
Yeah, I mean, we said this before too. Like, ideally, that could be an incredibly effective, super physical third line that has some offensive pop too. I am not as upset as I think many are about the flipping Hartman with Rossi there. Like, I still think that could be, I think that should be still a pretty good line. But yeah, I mean, Trennan, Hartman, Foligno, as long as Hartman's on his best behavior, his best worst behavior. Like, you know what I like? Not
I don't
enough
want
like
his best behavior.
as long as the shit he's getting in trouble for is like flipping other teams off, like fighting people, that's fine. But some of his penalties are so funny. As long as he's not pulling that off, it would be great.
Punch the ice and put himself out for weeks.
Yeah, that's fucking unbelievable. He's such a beauty. No,
but people are like way too down on him, way too down. And
yeah,
I don't know. I said this with Joe last week. Z, curious what you think. You almost have to start with Hartman there to begin camp, because if you start Rossi there and flip him down for Hartman, it's a story. If Rossi finds a way to surpass Hartman, it's like, okay, cool. Everyone's happy. This is the way of the world.
Yeah. And I mean, I also just think you have a better chance of getting more than like 3 or 4 guys having a good offensive year if you spread it out a little bit more. And we've seen Hartman, as long as he's healthy, like we saw the 1 year, which kind of drives that. Even though I just said it, still kind of drives me nuts. It's like we know he can do. He's a 30-goal guy. He's like, well, he was. But I still think like what he scored last year, like 20.
Former first rounder, Z.
Former 30-goal guy. But yeah, I am absolutely okay. Actually, I think it's probably the right move to have Hartman on that first line to start to start the season. And then Rossi on the third line. Because like we said last week, like Rossi put up 21, like rotating pretty much between all 3 lines and like their top 9. Like he was literally pretty much everywhere he went. He was still finding a way to either like find himself in scoring positions, like just in front of the net, despite the fact that he is an undersized guy, especially as a center. Like he's still in all of the mayhem. And he was scoring goals on all 3 lines. So, yeah, no, I still think it's the right move to start with Hartman on the first line, Rossi in the third. And we'll just see how much the roster gets shaken up with the Boldy thing if he misses any actual games, I guess. But
what if they put Freddie up on that wing?
Oh my God.
Freddie and JoJo with Eck. I think fans would break things.
Oh yeah, even if it works, like people would be like, "Oh, imagine if anyone else would have 50. Anyone else would have 50."
No, exactly.
Okay.
If Freddie can do it, you know that Height should be there instead. Yeah.
Yeah, no matter what. It's like, yeah, imagine if someone that could play hockey was on that line. It's unbelievable. God, that did give me some anxiety though when you said that.
Well, but they would do it. They would do it. Cosgrove, would be funny if Kumpulainen were the best of the 3. Height, Stramel, Kumpulainen. Just a surprise Judd bracket special.
That would be funny. Oh God.
It's not out of like question. I still think Height's the best of the group, but like if you told me Kumpulainen ends up being the guy, I'm not shocked.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, I think of those 3 guys, honestly, like Kumpulainen probably has a better chance. Like, let's say he doesn't hit his yeah, well, like, yeah, like even if he doesn't hit his absolute ceiling, like if he gives you his B game in the NHL, he's an incredibly effective, like possibly has a better chance of all three, to be honest, with like being a very effective NHL player anyways. At this point, like just given how the last 2 years have gone for all, like with him versus like Stremel, who has like a similar kind of profile, probably less offensive pop, but still some. But yeah. And I think that was all of it. I think that was everything we had.
I think that'll do it.